Now, about part 2 of our field trip.
We're gonna need help.
Lots.
Looks like everyone's gone. What was the name of this place again?
Every town is like this now. Everything has gone to crap. Swarm coming! Everybody stay focused! Don't let us down now! We gotta pull together!
Barricade ready!
Get it together! Here they come!
Guys, there's a printer here!
Printing complete.
I was not put on this earth to die like a dog. Let's show these things whose planet this is!
I walk through rusted corridors, breathing air recycled 1,000,000 times over. I see a humanity too weak to turn back the madness. This is where I belong. This is my home. My territory. Where the bullet and the knife are kings. Life is cheap. Especially yours. Welcome to the Underhive.
Our mission is finding a planet suitable for the gene pool on board this ship. I will be there for you if you need information on how to handle this endeavor and lead us to great success. You can always deactivate my guidance in the menu interface, but as far as my experience with human intelligence goes, I highly recommend listening to me if this is your first Genesis mission. New captain promoted. Welcome to the shipbuilding interface. Here you build and upgrade our ship. In our cloning laboratories, new clones can be created and added to the crew. We are also able to combine human DNA with DNA we collect in outer space. Once you arrive on the surface, please look out for points of interest and ensure safety for our harvesting crew.
have 5 seconds to leave the premises. 5, 4,
We thought the wall would stop them.
We hoped the gold would freeze them.
We thought the army would crush them.
But nothing worked.
We're all alone.
And they just keep coming.
Yo, bro, why don't you pick up some groceries on your way back, alright? We're running kind of low, and don't tell Mom, alright, but I'm broke.
Son, while you're living in D.C., we have to set some ground rules when your brother comes to stay with you.
I've been patient with you, Aiden. We need those schematics by 10 a.m. tomorrow, or else we need...
Mark is your responsibility.
Come on, Aiden.
Aiden, this is your mother. Pick up the phone.
Aiden, pick up the phone, man.
Aiden.
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 Scavengers is a survival shooter co-opetition where teams of players compete while engaging in PvE combat. It takes place in a not-so-distant future in a winterized world where a cataclysmic event has led to this sort of new ice age, and then you have this mysterious disease that's been spreading through the world, infecting all life across the planet.
The challenge that we have as an art team is to define that intersection of beauty and dystopia. And we're trying to have a lot of down moments in the game. We're pacing it like a thriller.
We also have AI in an open big world that we have to fight and work together as a team to overcome. So it's a mix between PvP and PvE.
To be able to merge these two types of conflict and have them remain in balance with one another is probably our biggest challenge, but it's also the thing that gets me most stoked about the game. We're trying to present a large, rich, open world environment. This is something that we tried to tackle with Warzone and Halo 5, and that mode was really popular and very successful in terms of what it achieved, but we had a lot of limitations that we had to deal with. And so for us with Scavengers, it's really important that we're leveraging a platform called Spatial OS. And what Spatial does is rather than having to deal with the limitations of a single server within which you're having to simulate everything that's taking place within a game session, you're actually able to divide up that game world.
So basically you get smarter AI and you can use the environment as a more dynamic playground.
What Spatial really gives us the opportunity to do is be able to ultimately push a lot more richness into the world than we were ever capable of doing before.
There's the word that we use a lot here is that we call togetherness. And I think that is going to permeate through the company and with our titles, where we want to make sure players play together and build relationships in the games.
We believe in the idea that community takes adversity. That's our purpose at Midwinter, is to create that feeling of togetherness and put that into the world, and that's what we're here to do.
Not to get crazy, philosophical, but I think like in an age where digital technology has the ability to sort of pull us all apart and polarize us and segment us, I think games have the ability to bring us together and bind us, and that's really powerful.
In its release, there is still a lot of work lying ahead, but the hardest part is certainly behind us. Now we feel it's finally time to start showing some gameplay to the public. Luckily, we have a few great opportunities to do it, with gaming events like GDC and EGX Rest being right around the corner. Making a demo is always a challenge, we know that by now. Our goal is to show as much diversity as possible, diversity of our gameplay features and cultural aspects as well. For these purposes, and also to introduce and explain our mechanics, we are creating a completely new quest line. So let's jump back to November, when our work began. Our narration team comes up with a story of a missing person.
Depends on the kind of job that you're offering.
My husband, Harry Evans, has disappeared.
It ties together our gameplay features as well as that Lovecraftian lore. At the same time, our concept artists and level modelers start working on the gameplay area. The quest is designed to take the player across different city districts: Rich, Poor, the Harbor Zone and the others. At first, the plan was to put together a small separate map just for GDC, but we quickly realized we didn't want to make something we would never use in the future. So we agreed that the quest should take place in the actual city. The problem is our full map is far from finished. It already has streets and buildings, but is lacking those small details that make a city feel alive. To negate that, we decided to border off the gameplay area and spice it up a little, add points of interest, vehicles, landmarks, and of course our monoliths. So now we have a more or less finished and polished part of the map that we can use in our final product. Things are going smoothly. Obviously, different bugs and glitches keep popping up like crazy. Sometimes the hero wears two hats, sometimes a floating object stops being floaty, and don't get me started on strange collisions. But we always manage to fix them in no time. However, there is one big problem that we have struggled to sort out for months: lighting. In our previous demo, we used static light maps and baked them into the textures. That was a difficult and resource-draining process, so in our game we eventually decided to switch to dynamic lighting. It works great, yet we still cannot pinpoint the right tone and colors that we want to use in the sinking city. To solve that problem, we reach out to professional photo artists in Kiev. They help our team find the right color scheme, inspired by the works of Caspar David Friedrich, James McNeill Whistler, Gregory Crutzen, and other prominent masters in their fields. Also, during our numerous playtests, we realized something. Our quest line is intriguing, but very linear. And that's not something you'd expect from the developers that keep hyping up their quote-unquote strong and non-linear storytelling. So our writers put together an alternative ending. I guess you could call it a good ending, available only for the most observant investigators.